In a government office behind closed doors, a classified document sits on the floor. It contains secrets of the highest degree, information that's not meant to be free, but careless hands have let it slip, a mistake that could cause a big dip in national security, in trust, and in faith. The stakes are high, the risks are great. The document could fall into wrong hands and be used to undermine our country's plans. It's a mistake that cannot be undone, a blunder that we cannot outrun. We must be vigilant, we must be aware of the dangers of mishandling what we share. For in the end, it's not just a piece of paper, it's our national safety, our way of life, our caper. So let us learn from these mistakes and be more careful in the risks that we take. For our future depends on the trust we keep and the secrets we protect buried deep. Welcome to Divided We Stand. I am Jimmy J, and that man over there with a very coiffed haircut is the man, the myth, the legend, Joe McGuire. Looking good tonight, Joe. How are we doing?
Better than the White House.
Aren't we all actually at this point? Joe, I'm just going to go right into it. Did you know, and a quick Google search will confirm this, 50 million. That's a whole lot of zeros. 50 million documents are classified each and every year. Every year, dude.
That's a big number.
By the United States government, right? That is an astronomically large number. These documents can contain everything from, I don't know, the president's schedule, what the president wants on his menu. Honest to God, that's actually a classified document that I had to see when I worked at the helicopter squadron down there in Virginia. His menu, yes. Honest to God, all the way up to troop movement, plans, assets on the ground, very, very pertinent, undercover, CIA. I mean, all very, very dangerous information out there. 50 million is a lot, though. Okay. And between 2001 and 2011, there were 127 cases of espionage attempts. Did you know this? I thought I would remember. I think I would remember 127 cases. Like, I remember 2 so far.
I'm thinking about the Trump campaign.
Wow, nice. But no, seriously, can you think of any more than 2?
No, I can think of a handful that I've seen over the years, but that's a high number. Yeah, that's shocking.
It's hugely shocking, and it's not just the government that's classified documents. You know, we got to be aware of this. Large organizations have classified documents and keep classified documents, i.e., employee information. Right? That stuff is technically classified. By IT personnel are only supposed to, very scarcely have access to this kind of information. Medical records are another source of information, not military wise, that are deemed kind of be like classified, right?
Yeah.
IT company Egress found that 97% of employees in a lot of these companies have access to all this information, with 78% of the employees admitting to accidentally sending sensitive data to the wrong person. I've actually done this, right? I've actually done this, not anything in the military where it was national security detrimental. I mean, I just sent over, hey, we're going over to such and such base at this time. During peacetime, there was no war going on. It was pre 9/11. It was within the continental United States, and that was my first lesson in learning that troop movement is classified, because I got in a little bit of trouble. I didn't get charged with espionage. I didn't get charged with jail time. I did get some paperwork put in my my file, but that was about it. So what was this guy's name? His name is Teixeira. His last name is Teixeira, and the only reason why I don't really want to give this guy any credence, so we'll just say Tex from here on out. So this Tex guy, and the only reason why I remember that is because the great first baseman from the New York Yankees, Mark Teixeira. But I have a signed baseball from him over there. This Jack Wagon was a Air National Guardsman, which is essentially a reservist.
Right.
And how he gets his hands on the level of a classified I had a security clearance in the military. I was in a war zone. I was responsible for troop movement, troop lines throughout the region, which is highly classified at that time. And I didn't have a level of clearance to get this kind of information. Like, I knew an awful lot and not to that level. How this guy got it is beyond me, completely beyond me. It just goes to show the operational breakdown that we have here in this country right now, right? And I like equating everything to the military because that's what I know, and that's what I'm good at. In the military, there are millions and I don't want to say millions. There are hundreds of safeguards in place. There are checks upon checks upon checks when it comes to classified material. All right, no cell phones, no any digital recording material, nothing. Right? You go into a very secure room that is actually electronically sealed. Okay, there's no way you can get electronics like from outside in. I mean, it's really cool stuff that happens. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say what I can say, and what's classified I have to leave out, obviously. But there's a lot of cool safeguards in place that you would see in Bond movies, right? Like you would actually see in Bond movies to keep this information safe. So what is going on that this kid, this 21-year-old kid, who is now going to call himself a whistleblower, even though he probably doesn't even know what that is, just to get out of the espionage charge, which is still another charge punishable by death. And because he was in the military, he'll probably get charged with treason, which is punishable by death. That's the only crime in the military that is still punishable by death, is treason.
Jim, I've been saying now for about the last 10 months that we have had and continue to have a problem with classified information and leaks in this country. And it's high time we do something about it. We get so caught up in the partisanship of Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. It's like, I really don't care who's mishandling the documents. We need that's got to stop. And as you kind of mentioned, Jim, there's real ramifications. Real
world ramifications. People may die. Could die, I'll say.
For utter carelessness. And again, I think it's high time that we get this kind of resolved here. And I think the only way we're going to do that is if people get over themselves and hold the Joe Bidens and the Hillary Clintons and the Mike Pences and Donald Trumps accountable. You hold one, you hold all accountable. You do it that way, then you're not picking sides. That's the way this has to be going forward, and it's got to be enforced. And I mean, again, I couldn't get control now, and it seems like every couple of weeks there's another issue with classified information. Enough.
I couldn't agree with you more. However, somebody who doesn't agree with you that it's a big deal. That's your president. He doesn't think it's a big deal because he says, and I quote, he's not concerned. Excuse me, I said, quote, I'm not concerned. When he was asked about this, that was his quote. I'm not concerned. So I understand that it's serious.
That's like what Trump said about COVID.
You understand that it's serious.
Right.
Okay. We both agree. Unfortunately, the leader of the free world doesn't. And that's a real problem.
Well,
hold on.
He's saying words. What's he supposed to say? Oh, this is very concerning. Dear God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
You
a
know,
big deal. This is a big deal. We're going to look into it. We're going to find the person who did it, and we're going
and they did.
and we're
They
but he
did. He
never
said
but he
that
didn't say,
yesterday. He
I'm
said
not.
we're close to finding
Yeah,
the
he
person,
did.
and
Great
today
job.
they
We're not
busted this
talking about that.
Portuguese American.
We're not talking about that. That's a great job. Great on the FBI. Great the people of Massachusetts. Which, by the way, we live in the state of Connecticut. How close is it to us?
Yeah,
Anyway,
no kidding.
I was talking about Joe Biden's statement, right? He was asked about the security, the document, the leaked documents being posted online. He's like, I'm not concerned. Like, no, that's not what you say. Right? If it's a big deal, which we all agree and everybody agrees that it is, and this is actually, I was just watching the news. This is actually one of the biggest bipartisan issues on the Hill right now. Like, hold on, something's wrong. We need to fix this, right? I mean, so the only problem is Joe doesn't seem to think it's a big deal, and the evidence of that is the Biden Center, his garage, the other place in D.C. that I can't think of right now. I mean, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's not concerned with it.
Well, because we haven't punished it. We didn't punish Hillary Clinton. We didn't punish Donald Trump. We didn't punish Mike Pence.
Yet. We didn't punish Trump yet. And
let's start. Let's start punishing people.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Let's find out what laws were broken and start freaking holding them all accountable. You're 100% right. You're not going to find any argument.
However, I'm assuming, like with Hunter Biden's laptop, that it's been thoroughly investigated, like the Hillary
Clinton burger, right? It's obviously a nothing burger.
But listen,
3 years, is it not?
If there are crimes being committed, especially by people who are out of office, especially if they committed them while in office, you're welcome to prosecute all those people, all of them. That's fine by me.
Where's my applaud bumper? I need my applaud.
I mean, seriously, every American should adapt that mindset that if anybody in any party is breaking the law or using the office to benefit themselves and not their constituents, let's start nailing these bastards to the wall.
Okay, I agree wholeheartedly. However, pause for effect. And I'm not even fighting you on this. It's just a scenario that I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
If we go down that road, we're getting rid of everybody in D.C. We have no working government at that point. We have to start over.
Well, that's fine.
Which I am not opposed to in the slightest. I don't want to say, right, I don't want to say we need to overthrow the government and have me shut down and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if we're going to start prosecuting people for crimes, there goes our entire form of government. We need to start over. And I think that's a great idea when we start over as a constitutional republic, as the fathers intended.
But we do prosecute people for crimes. That's like this new thing I'm hearing. Like if they can prosecute
no. I'm talking committing a crime, politicians, like Jim. Like the high level
Jim. The argument, Jim Jordan said the other day. Jim Jordan said if they can prosecute the former president of the United States, they can prosecute anybody. And it's like, yes, that's how this works. If you commit a crime, you'll be prosecuted. But that's this whole you love the deterrent thing. Here it is.
No,
if we start prosecuting these politicians, maybe the other ones will start to fall in like, oh, I better not do that.
I agree, right?
It's time and if it's got to be Trump, if Trump's got to be the first guy they nail and they just start doing it, he's going to be very proud to have been the first leading the charge.
The greatest president ever to be
draining the swamp, starting with himself. It'll be great.
It was the greatest jail cell ever.
Oh, yeah. But I'm serious.
Jail cell ever.
Look, as I've said, look, if Hunter Biden broke some laws and there's some evidence, then prosecute him. If there's not, then shut up and move on.
Yeah, I haven't talked about Hunter Biden's laptop in forever because just like you haven't talked about the Russia gate because it was a big nothing burger, so we moved on, right?
I'll fight to the death on that one. Listen, here's the thing. Think about every election when they've got one of those Fox News Mexican caravans coming to the suburbs to rape your daughters. They never make it here. They never actually make it to the border, and after the election day, Fox never mentions the caravan again until another election comes.
What are you
I get it,
talking about?
Jimbo.
I
I
don't-
get it.
What are you talking
I
about?
get it.
We've agreed that the number of I've shown you graphs, right? From the
I'm
United
talking
States government.
specifically about they're not sending their best, Jim. It's
The
the
amount of people that come
caravan,
across
30,000 of them. They're coming to the suburbs. Watch out.
like you actually have no leg to stand on this one, man. Like the United States Immigration Services put in numbers. Like I showed you the graphs, right?
I'm not talking about immigration numbers. I'm talking about
No. I'm not talking about immigration numbers either.
so-
They're talking about border crossing. This is from them. This is
No,
from
I'm talking
our
about
government.
caravans that move from down around Costa Rica and they come all the way up into Mexico.
Well, I have
Every
no
election,
idea.
and Fox News pretends that they're all going to cross the border at once and take over suburban areas.
I have no idea how you can still say stuff like that.
Oh, I've
Honest
seen
to
it.
God. Like when CNN, hold on,
it.
when CNN, when CNN is going, all right, this is bad. When you're pushing through 15,000 immigrants, paying thousands and thousands of dollars to clean up cities.
James.
Hold on, let me finish. Hold on, to clean up cities just because the president comes down. It's really
James.
bad. But CNN said that, Joe. Like
James,
you saw that, right?
James,
Yes, no, you didn't.
So before we go any further,
Like
it's important for you and everyone to remember, I've said 1,000 times, the border's a disaster. I'm not saying it's not. What I'm talking about is a little bit of a different issue. It's one of these things that it tends to come up around the election, that there's these caravans of migrants moving through the country. They never ever end up crossing over, but they cover these people right up until election day, and then they move on from it. It's a scare tactic. You know what I'm talking about, and it's
I
what
believe
guys
that
do, but
tactics are there.
I'm saying that
right?
that's wrong, and that we got to do better than that.
I believe scare tactics are there, and I believe both sides use them. I do. However, this one I'm going to disagree with you on. Hold on, listen.
But
I'm
you
gonna explain
can't.
why.
You
Hold on,
can't.
I'm going
Now,
to-
Jim,
I'm going
listen.
to-
This is
let me
important.
explain
You're right.
why, and
Let
then
me
you can
just
say what
say-
you want to say.
Do you remember when you and I dispelled the myth about Medicare and Social Security?
Yep.
That's a CNN, MSNBC, Democratic. Joe Biden was all up on it when it didn't look good there towards election day. That was nonsense, and we know that's nonsense.
So I know of 2 Fox programs. I don't watch many, but I know of 2, right? I like Neil Cavuto because he does a lot of economic stuff as well. He's an economics guy.
I used to really like him. He got a little crazy, but he's okay. I'll give you
Yeah.
Cavuto.
He does a segment every single day called the Biden border crisis. He hasn't forgot about it. He doesn't just bring it up during elections. He does it every single day.
Yeah.
And if there's nothing new to report, Neil's an integrity somewhat type of guy. There's nothing new to report, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. A couple hundred came over. Cool. But he does it every single day. You telling me that they only bring it up for elections, right? Just like you only see BLM during elections. No, Fox News actually talks about it every single day. They do it on
To scare
Fox-
people, right?
Fox and Friends. There's nothing to scare, dude. If there's nothing there, they report nothing is there. They have a segment called because they like calling it Biden's border crisis. But they do it, and it's not just brought up at every four years like BLM.
I'll also remind you, last episode, I played a clip of Ronald Reagan from 1980, who was complaining that the border had been a crisis for decades
yes.
prior to that. So again, much like global inflation, you guys are trying to pin.
Well, here's the problem.
You're trying to pin like 100-year problem on Joe Biden, and I'm saying like this, Jim. He's not doing a great job. He's not doing the worst job. He's not doing as bad a job as you guys are making it out to be. He's not as disassociated from reality as you guys would pretend he is. He's not as weak as you would pretend he is. And all of that is only added to the fire of Vladimir Putin and of China. It seems like
no. Hold on. I'm
It
out.
seems
Because
like
now
the
you're
people
going
on the
down the
right,
road you cannot
the people
defend.
on the right are
I'm
cheering
trying
for
to
the
help
bad
you,
guys.
man. I'm trying to help you. You cannot defend that statement. There is nothing that Joe Aguirre, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, who else? I mean, any of them, right? Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon. There's nothing that we're going to say or we could say that's going to be like, you know what? Xi Jinping is going to be like, I need to rethink this. Hold on. Like, don't be stupid, man.
Yeah.
It's not us saying something that's making Xi Jinping going, now I'm going to.
I don't think you guys are giving yourself enough credit.
Now I'm going to go to Brazil and convince them to drop the dollar because that's what he just did. Now I'm going to go to Argentina. There's nothing that you or I or any of us can say to make him do or not do that. We didn't even know about it. It's not even getting reported on that much. And it should be. Because you know what? I don't give a crap about classified documents when freaking China's running around the world trying to become a superpower and people are agreeing. That's a little bit more important to me than classified documents about troop sizes in Ukraine when we're, it doesn't.
So you just chastised Joe Biden for not caring about those documents, and now you don't care about those documents.
No, I didn't say that. I said it's a little bit more important to me that China's going out there. I didn't say that these aren't important.
You said, I don't care about classified documents when China's running around. That's what you said.
Very well, then. I said it. I don't care.
Take it back.
I would rather the world get a freaking grip on Xi Jinping, right? I would rather the world get a grip on him making an alliance with freaking Putin. I would make a grip on him making an alliance with Saudi Arabia, Iran, Russia, North Korea, Brazil, Argentina.
Do you think that right-wing media perpetuating that Joe Biden's like weak-minded and not with all his capabilities, do you think that doesn't hurt him in the media around the world to hear that that's what the Republican Party and conservatives think of him? You don't think that hurts from an intelligence standpoint? You're a smart guy. What do you think?
I'm going to say, because I like to be fair, unlike yourself, right? Because now you're bringing up the media and its influence. Because when I've been saying that about when they completely doctor video on Donald Trump, you're like, nah, isn't it? No. Do you think that not had an effect? Of course it did. So yes, does it?
Yeah, by design, he was a terrible president and a terrible person. I mean, they were seriously considering 25th Amendmenting him out for crying out loud.
So bad, why make up so much stuff about him? Why doctor so many videos about him and then press it like it was real? Why would you have to do that?
Why did it take 2 hours for him to clarify his stance on white supremacy?
Freaking make me defend this piece of shit.
Why did it take him 2 days to clarify his thoughts on white supremacists?
I hate it. It doesn't take him 2 days.
It kind of did.
I denounce white supremacy. He had to say it 8 million times.
Yeah.
8 million times.
You know who Jim.
You idiots keep saying nobody's racist. No evidence.
Jim. You know who else did I
freaking defend this guy?
Jim.
It pisses me off. I don't want him to be my freaking president.
Jim.
I don't.
Jim.
Stop
serious
it.
question.
Because you know
serious
what?
Question.
You're sitting there and you chastise Fox News for
serious question.
ABC, NBC,
Jim. Serious question.
MSN. They all freaking do it, but you know what? That one, holy crap, that one makes a difference. Go on.
All I was going to say is Donald Trump certainly was attacked a lot, but I think you'll agree he brought most of it on himself.
I agree that he brought a lot on himself.
You're right. The media was constantly on this guy's tail. I get it. And I know you don't want to have to defend him. I get that.
I am more mad that you make me defend him than I am defending him.
I understand. No, you're right. I understand why you're upset. And you're right to say that. You know?
I don't like him. I won't vote for him. I don't
Yeah.
want him to be president. I would rather have this freaking Indian guy that nobody knows his name win the primary. Honest to God, at least he's young. He's fresh blood. He's got some new ideas, right? He knows how to use Twitter. I mean, I would literally rather vote for him than Donald Trump. I'm going to tell you right now, whoever is on that freaking primary, whoever it is, my freaking tally will not go by Donald Trump, man. I'm just not.
Who would you vote for, Trump versus Biden?
I would waste my vote. I would.
Okay.
I would write myself in.
I like that. I appreciate that you would do that.
Yep, I would waste it. I would. Now, I'm ineligible for president of the United States because I wasn't born in this country, but I think I would make a better president than them two chuckleheads. That's why I would vote for myself.
Yeah.
I'm not. I would 100% hand to God on the Bible, waste my vote.
Listen, I really believe that and I've said this before, Jim, and I'll say it again. Donald Trump is like 80. And here's the funny thing is he was playing like a bad guy character. And I think now he's like, he believes that it's a real thing. The more I hear from him lately, the more I'm thinking like, dude, this guy's, I think he's out of his mind,
again,
but like, I think he's so deep into this idea of like, he's got this group of people that would do whatever he wants them to do. And it's got to be tempting to do something with that.
Oh, sure. You know what?
It's got to be tempting, Jim.
You know, he's got, so you, like, I honestly, so I've always, for years, I've asked you this question, right? Is he an evil genius?
Yeah.
Or a complete dumbass? Right? And we've kind of settled on he's a complete dumbass, I think. Right? So, he's not a complete dumbass. I'm going to revise that. So what you're seeing now, in my opinion, now I could be way wrong. He could be this freaking new David Koresh type coming up, right? He could be. For all I know, he's the next David Koresh. Waco for you young people. But is he just placating to his base now?
Yeah.
Because he does that great. He placates his base better than anybody.
He knows who his audience is, and he is definitely speaking their language. He knows what chords to press. I mean, it's impressive. It is. The problem is that's dwindling. And the other curious thing, again, we've talked about this, is the rest of the Republican Party's like half in, half out. It's like, do we let this guy go to jail, or we defend him? Does he run?
We
don't know what to do.
Anecdotally, do you think like 95% of the Republican Party is just hoping somebody takes him out?
Much like the Russian military, I think they're hoping somebody takes that dude out, and they can act like they're sad about it, but deep down, they'll be thrilled to death. Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, and here's the other funny thing. I'll throw you this one. How many Democrats would love it if Joe Biden were to kick the bucket in the next 6 months?
Oh, absolutely. Same amount of people, on as the other side. Now, you brought up the Republican Party. I didn't want to bring this up, but I only got like a minute or two left. The Republican Party, after this, what I'm reading right now, is going to go downhill pretty quick, unless is it Tim Scott from South Carolina can do something and can make a move, maybe with Nikki Haley. The Republican Party is no more, because DeSantis is about to commit political suicide. For those who are not really up to date, because I think this actually just came out like a couple hours ago, Florida legislator passes a 6-week abortion ban. So Florida is now
introduced by 2 conservative women, by the way, 2 conservative Republican legislators.
So the bill, I read it just really briefly before we came on. The bill does have a 15-week clause for rape and incest and stuff like that, as well as
Solid.
life of the mother. Is that what they call it? Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Risk to the life of the mother. However, that only goes up to 15 weeks. So if you're in danger after 17 weeks, you're going to die. Is that what I want clarification, but that's how I read this.
I got to tell you, I don't know why they've decided to focus on transgenderism and this ridiculous issue. I mean, I think I mentioned this at the end of last week's show, but the state of Wyoming several years back, in an attempt to undermine Obamacare, passed the Constitutional Amendment saying that the government shall not involve itself in anyone's medical decisions. And so they decided to ban abortion in the great state of Wyoming.
In the state
the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was like, guys, you just said a couple years ago, government has no business getting involved in people's medical decisions. And they don't. And I listen, I don't like abortion. I'm pro-choice because there's too many people as it is. And bringing people into the world who aren't wanted is in most cases setting them up for failure. Now, my buddy Jimmy here is a perfect example of the options of adoption, and I am firmly in support of laying all the options on the table, Jim. But again, between transgenderism, going after the gays, and going after abortion, you're playing with fire, and we've talked about this a bunch. You look at the breakdown nationally, and here in Connecticut, 41% of Connecticut residents are non-affiliated voters.
Okay.
Nationally, it's 42%.
Good Lord, really?
Yes. Isn't that crazy, dude? Both parties are in the mid-20s. And that's it. The majority of people are unaffiliated. The more extreme the Republicans get on this particular issue, the worse they look compared to literally an extremist group of leftists. Because, Jim, I say this, 70% of America, roughly, I think it's like 68%, support they support the idea of first trimester, just leave it alone.
Some kind of ban.
Regulation, second and third, right? Life of the mother, or non-viable fetus in the second or third trimester. Those are the only exceptions.
Right.
And the rape stuff, that's generally first try. You again, with a 24-week, you're good to go there.
16 even, you should be good.
The funny thing is many Connecticut Republicans are of that mindset of first trimester, do your thing, second and third, we want to stop it. That's where most people are at. And it's become really the Democrats' position, especially Democrats in Connecticut, very extreme position, much more extreme than America. And because the Republicans can't stop tripping themselves over this nonsense, they're making themselves seem like the extremists compared to Democrats who literally are talking about second and third, and again, that idea of like with the guns shall not be infringed right up to the moment of birth. And Jim, no one's really ever going to do that. No one's really going to abort a 9-month fetus. But again, the idea is you can't regulate this at all. It's none of your business. And that comes across as like, I want to kill babies. Not a good look on their part. I get that. Okay. But these are the few, again, these sort of social issues, Jim. I'm going to get into this in my bit, but this culture war right now you guys are losing bad.
I have an answer. Your question was, how could they do this? And I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to take us right into a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to go right into the flip side with Joe Aguirre. And the answer to your question, Joe, is this.
Yes.
Because Republicans, and please pardon the pun, because Republicans are willing to die on that cross.
I love that.
We can expect another wet summer in Connecticut, and that means more mosquitoes than ever. If you don't have your home serviced for mosquito control and you find you're spending most of your outside time swatting those little pests, or you did have your yard sprayed but you still have bites all over your body, you're in luck. Mosquito Shield of Central Connecticut provides the best value in mosquito control services because of how they treat your yard using the Mosquito Shield tailored treatment system. All mosquito control service is not the same. They don't use a fixed schedule or an identical product, one-size-fits-all service program. You can't control mosquitoes on a set number of sprays or visits. Unlike the competition, Mosquito Shield of Central Connecticut will service you for the season, whatever it takes to provide superior results. The promise has awarded them an industry-leading customer retention rating of 90%. Visit MosquitoShieldCNCT.com to schedule an appointment with Wade DeCesare and enjoy the rest of the summer mosquito-free.
Jimmy, I've been saying this for months. There's no such thing as woke banks and woke corporations, but there is definitely woke beer. But it's not just the beer, Jimmy. It's the vodka, too. But before you start freaking out, it's everywhere. Come on, McDonald's is woke. I think all the fast food chains are. Even Listerine will leave a bad taste in your mouth. Jack Daniels went woke a couple of years ago with RuPaul, and this one has to hurt a lot. Harley Davidson. They also are sellouts. Oh, it hurts. Maybe Alex Jones was onto something. Maybe they are using the water, Jimmy, to make everyone gay. Seriously. And this culture war, it's just a distraction. It seems like everyone is going woke. The world is upside down, but that's what they want you to think. That everything you hold dear is letting you down by taking the other side in this culture war. It's about the us versus them mentality. Meanwhile, the guys on your side keep getting busted lying to your face so they can make a buck at your expense. These companies aren't woke. It's marketing. They want more money and more market share, and they'll celebrate anyone and anything who might become a future customer. So stop freaking out over stuff like this, and stop destroying stuff you already spent your hard-earned money on. So it makes you look like a giant snowflake.
That was great.
Oh, for the love
Good
of God.
job. Good
Listen,
job. Well done.
Jimmy, it's a culture war, and right now, your side's looking pretty dumb. And I'm telling you right now, you guys can still pull this thing out.
You know what, Joe? I don't think we are. And this is why. And if they get the message right. Now, yes, I think they're being dumb about it. Right. I think they're being dumb about playing on the whole, God religion thing, because you know what? I'm Catholic. I was raised Catholic. I believe in God, but that's my personal choice. I'm never going to try to push that on anybody else. Needless, to say you. But,
yeah,
but I even before I knew you were an atheist and after, I've never once tried to push my religion on you. I've never tried to make you believe. I just tell you not to make fun of people that do.
No, yeah, you do definitely get mad when I make fun of it, and I get that. And you're right to feel that way.
And that's it, right? I never try to make you believe, right? So, and I think that's, and you said it best, right? And I agree with you 100% that it's marketing, it's the almighty dollar, and as conservatives, we should understand that this is a part of capitalism.
Yes.
Like, this is a very, very, very big part of capitalism, right? So I agree wholeheartedly. It's a marketing scheme. They're trying to pick up customers. Now, in the case of Budweiser, okay, who are you trying to pick up? What new customers are you trying to pick up? Because the clientele base that you're placating to at that point, or advertising to at that point, I'm going to go on a limb and say like White Claws, martinis, vodka, those kind of drinkers. I don't see a lot of my gay friends sitting around with a Budweiser. I don't see a lot of, transgender people that I know sitting around with a Budweiser.
Well, they're trying to crack into the market. And listen, again, I think if there's anything to learn here, look, I understand, Jim. It's like we've talked about the insurrectionists, and I told you, right? For me, a lot of those people, I feel like they're the victim. And I was thinking about this earlier today, Jim. This is going to sound a little bit crazy, but I'm glad that there are Americans who feel so compelled that if they truly thought that an election was rigged, they wouldn't stand for it. Now, that was crazy and they were lied to, and that's messed up. But I'm glad that Americans have that kind of conviction. It's misplaced. It was very misplaced that day, but I get it, and I feel so bad. We heard about veterans and people losing benefits because they participated in the insurrection. I feel bad when that happens. So again, you saw the guy, the guy that, let me run some of the video. Have you seen this guy?
Here's the deal. You went woke. The company's been going and making badass whiskey for 150 years, since 1866, and out of nowhere, you went woke. So this is what I got for you guys. A mirror that has been in every house I've owned. Every wooden sign that's been up in my pubs.
No, not the sign! No!
Every Jack Daniels glass that I've ever owned.
Glasses? Are you crazy? Jim.
Aren't those worth something?
Yes. Jim, he also comes out. I cut it off there because I don't want to watch it again. He has a 200 bottle of Jack and a $120 bottle, and he dumps them out.
You know what, Joe? This is what I have to say to this. Okay? I don't care. I really don't. That's
alcohol abuse.
I was just going to say, hold on. I was going to say that is an Irish sin, right? However, it's not my $120 bottle. It's his. He's allowed to do whatever he wants with it.
Oh, yes.
Just like,
I get it. Yeah.
Just like if a cake maker has a strong religious belief and doesn't want to bake a cake for a gay wedding, he should have that right to do so. Now,
I don't know why you guys think engaging in anything makes you something.
I don't care, right? I don't care. I don't care.
I know.
Whatever. Hold on. Let me finish.
So stupid.
Let him be stupid. Let him be stupid, Joe. Right? Let him be stupid. And if those gay people want to get on TikTok and shoot up a bunch of cakes, go right ahead. I'll support it. If those gay people want to go out and throw away every freaking piece of flour, butter, and shortening they want,
I don't support destroying cake in protest.
Go right ahead. I will support you. Right? Destroying cake and destroying beer should not. There should be constitutional amendments that prohibit that. But I understand. But again, hey man, I will support anybody for any right that they fight for. Doesn't matter.
Jim, here's the thing.
Now, do I think these guys are wacko? Do I think these guys are crazy? Do I think these guys are hurting themselves? No, and I'm going to tell you why.
You don't think this is unhinged?
Fuck Bud Light and fuck Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
That are in the spotlight, that want to be celebrity, that do things for likes, views. I get it. Does he really believe that? And if he does, did you not just congratulate people for standing behind their convictions so strongly? And if they're religious nutbags, which a lot of the evangelicals are.
Hold on. No, let me. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad you said that because listen, yes, and you have the right to be pissed off and protest whatever you want, whether you want to kneel for a national anthem or you want to shoot your Budweiser, or if you want to burn your Pittsburgh Steelers jersey and all of your NFL memorabilia. here's my point, Jim. I just, again, I feel bad for these guys that are destroying their stuff because, again, in their minds, Jim, they feel like the companies have sold them out and that these companies have taken sides. And I can assure you, Jack Daniels still wants you to have their clock. They just want gay people to also have the clock. And now that they see transgenders, they want those people to also have the clock.
We'll make it even easier. Jack Daniels wants the money from those gay people.
Yes.
Jack Daniels wants the money from those trans people just as much as they want money from straight people.
Let me tell you a funny story about Barack Obama and Joe Biden. In 2012, when he was running against Mitt Romney, he had lost a great deal of the support he had from Wall Street. And they needed money to run for re-election. And Joe Biden set them on the course to get money from special interest LGBTQ groups when he came out after having supported the Defense of Marriage Act for many decades. Joe Biden suddenly was Joe Woke and went so far in an interview. I remember this. I was in Paris with my wife and I was like, I can't believe that dude ran his mouth like that. He was like, not only do I support gay marriage, so does Obama. And it was like, oh my God, dude, really? And then Obama came out with his thoughts evolved.
But he didn't.
Jim, do you know how much money poured in to his re-election campaign after that happened? So again, this idea that people are woke is nonsense. You might want to call it virtue signaling. I get pissed when I hear people say that because you're questioning. I mean, I'm not a piece of shit like you are. I can actually care about and empathize with people, and many of you can't, and I get that. But I'm legit when I say what I say. That said, I understand, Jim, this idea of it feels like I've noticed, Jim, in commercials, the misplaced black characters. Right? It's like four guys working at the Gap and they go out after work for like a Coors Light and there's always a black guy in the commercial. It seems like and I get that. I get it's this inclusion. It feels like they're shoving it down your throat. It seems like everybody's woke and everybody supports the things that you don't, and so your logical reaction is that you should throw all that stuff away. My point is, like I've said before, I don't support Chick-fil-A's opposition to gay marriage, but that chicken sandwich is banging. And if I don't eat that chicken sandwich from time to time, Jim, and wash it down one of those delicious chocolate shakes, maybe I get the curly fries. I don't know. I have to remind myself what I'm protesting.
Are you really, though?
If I don't like the sandwich, then it's not sacrificing to not have it.
Obviously. I mean, but are you, like, is that your protest into their opposition of gay marriage? Is not eating their chicken sandwich?
To not get their sandwich, yeah.
Okay. Just curious. I'm literally, so you guys don't shop at, what's the store there? That doesn't give birth control to their
Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, thank you.
No, we won't support businesses like that. But now, Jim, if they were the only place that had a certain yellow yarn, I'd go there.
So here's my point.
I'm not gonna punt. My point is, listen, I understand you want to stand by your convictions, and I joke with my wife that I do go to Chick-fil-A every now and again just to remind myself the sacrifice that I'm making. My point is you went out there, you spent your hard-earned money, and now you're convinced that Harley Davidson has gone woke, so now you want to drive your Harley off a cliff. I'm saying don't.
I wouldn't advise that either.
I'm saying don't. I'm saying put that son of a bitch on sale. Put it on Facebook Marketplace. Get some cash for it. You could sell your Jack Daniels clock and your Budweiser hat. Like
we're all in tough economic times right now.
Yes. Dude, I feel bad that these people feel so betrayed When it's simple marketing, it's they're not really taking sides, and they're not taking the opposite side against you like you think they are, but you're destroying your stuff because you're convinced, because Tucker Carlson and people are trying to convince you there's a culture war for the heart and soul of America. I just don't see it.
You know, that's funny you mentioned that, man, because those were the exact words that Joe Biden used on the campaign trail, that we need to fight for the heart and soul of America.
No, it's nonsense.
So it's such crap. I'm learning more and more.
You remember right towards the end, just before the election back in November, I was talking to the Republican lieutenant gubernatorial candidate Laura Devlin. And I talked to Laura a lot, and I told Laura every time I'm like, dude, we're going to cut all the crap out. I just want to talk legit. And one of the last things she said on air with me, and she got mad because I corrected her. She said, try to slip it in. We can't survive 4 more years of the Democrats. And I said, Laura, honestly, they've been running the place for 40 years. You're acting like 4 more years, like that's like the Armageddon. Stop it. I understand what you're saying. We don't want 4 more years, or 4 more years would be tough to tolerate. Don't say we're not going to survive like that. Like, that's the stuff I'm talking about, where it's like, dude, and Jim, right? Same thing when Biden, the heart and soul of America. Stop it. Stop it. That's not
I'm
true.
curious if you said
that's not
that.
true. And you know what else, Jim? It puts the other side on the opposite of American values. I find that disgusting. I don't care who's saying it. When you suggest the other side doesn't love America in some way, I think you're being dishonest and disingenuous, and you're playing dirty.
I agree. I agree with you, right? I don't agree with the example you gave. Okay, I don't. I believe that a lot of people now are coming up to hate America. Of course I do. I truly do, right? And it saddens me. It really.
I don't think people hate America. Right. I think people are looking at America as, Jim, when we grew up, America was the greatest planet. It was the greatest country on earth. And it was like this beacon of democracy and freedom. And we got involved and we defended other countries, and we bullied some countries, and we won the Cold War, the melting pot, land of opportunity. And we slowly, over the decades, Jim, we found out that for white people, yes, definitely, it's been all those things. For other groups, it's been a gradual, you'll get there eventually kind of a thing. And we want to whitewash the history a little bit. And people on the left, Jim, just want to make people, they want them to be aware that it hasn't always been perfect. And you guys are acting like people hate America and hate whiteness. And I'm telling you, the truth is somewhere in the middle of all that.
We have 7 minutes left of the program. Do you want me to bring up San Francisco, man?
What is there to bring up about San Francisco? It's a
$5 million per person, $100,000 a year job for 200 years, a home for your family for $1. Like, we're talking people that hate Americans and think that black people deserve reparations from other Americans. Now, here's a question for you, Joe. And now I want you to think about this before you answer. Because if taxpayer money goes to that, let's just say, right? And every freaking American has to repay these reparations.
Yeah.
I wasn't born in this country. My ancestors were.
So you probably wouldn't have to pay, I would assume.
They were not slave owners. They were slaves.
Yeah.
No. We'll all have to pay. Do you see what I'm saying?
You're making that up. You have no idea what you're even talking about. That's not a real thing, and no one. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody that supports that.
Just approved it.
I don't know anybody that supports that. I certainly don't. That's ridiculous, and no one's doing that.
Town Council that just approved every single request, every single one.
And who's paying for that?
Going up to the legislator where Gavin Newsom says he looks forward to freaking looking at it and signing it. So who supports? So nobody supports that, Joe? Nobody? Really? Like, where are you getting that information?
I have no idea. I don't know anybody that supports that. I
And
have
now-
never had any
now,
conversations
hold
with
on, you know
anybody
what?
that's like, we should totally
this-
do that.
I actually had this written for another episode, but there's another state. There's another state that there's actually, I got to pull it up, but I think there was like 6 other states that are starting to look into the California reparations packages and wanting to do so. They hate it. They hate white people. Now, I was actually talking to, God almighty, who was I talking? I can't remember, but it was another person of color, right? And I say another because I'm not white, obviously. So, but there are people that are white that are racist against other whites, right? And there's racism everywhere. There's Asian people that don't like other Asian people. They're racist.
Blacks make up
There's
6%
black people
of San Francisco.
There's black. Yeah, that's right.
And it was
Right.
never a slave.
And how much money would that whole entire package cost?
Oh, I have no idea. It's incalculable.
No, it is. They actually did it. Hold on, I'll look it up because I did.
Yeah, sure.
I did the
And,
calculation.
Jim, it's a figure that's unrealistic and could not possibly be sustained. It doesn't make any sense. I'll say this too.
They printing money like it's their job.
Which houses are they going to sell in San Francisco? There's barely anything on the market.
That's true. That's a good point.
So again, these are pipe dreams that some wacko liberal came up with. Nobody really supports it. It's not going anywhere.
So where are you? Shit.
No one supports it.
I gotta find. I want to find this paper, the episode that I wrote up about it that we ended up not doing. I think because of the school shooting, we ended up talking about that. And I believe Tennessee. I believe that was when I was going to do that episode. I had a whole bunch of numbers. I had a whole bunch of figures. The bottom line is this: everybody hates everybody right now, right? The left hates the right hates the left, the whites hate the black hates the white. Everybody hates everybody. And it's so friggin' sad. And you want to know what the saddest part about it is? Nobody's talking about the Asians. Where are we? We're not even a real minority. I'm
definitely overlooked right now.
I'm being facetious. I
know.
am. I mean, we are a minority, right? I don't look like Joe Aguirre in the slightest, right? My eyes are a little bit slantier. My nose is a little flatter. My face is definitely flatter. I mean, look at that. Do you know, Joe, on a lighter note? Exactly. Now, I'm going to say this, and I promise you're going to try it. I am one of the only people you will know that can touch his chin and his forehead on the table at the same time.
It's impressive.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, and then you're going to. Now, I am going to address in the last 3 minutes your statement of there is no such thing as woke or woke corporations. I don't believe that woke is a word that you can actually identify or define as one specific thing. Okay, so in that regard, you're correct. But I do believe that there is a war. I don't like that word. That there is an assault on God in this country. There truly is. The numbers show it. The numbers have gone down, et cetera, et cetera. We're removing God from a lot of stuff that, and I'm not blaming this. I'm not blaming this on the government either. I'm blaming this on all ourselves. Okay, on all ourselves. And if you want to know why people hate each other so much now, you want to know why people don't get along with each other, you want to know why the country is going the way we are, it is my Jimmy J's belief that it's because we are removing God from our lives. Right, wrong, or indifferent. People think that God and the church is a bad thing, right? I've actually had an argument with somebody that the majority of wars in the history of men were started in the name of God, right? People tell me how awesome the Catholic Church is. And I said, tell me about the Crusades, because they weren't awesome then. However, I will say this. people that do believe in their God and are extremely devout to them are going to use the word woke as an anti-God, and that's their banner, right? Is an anti-God is what it really is woke, right? So when I hear the word woke, I don't hear trans, gay, any of that kind of stuff, right? I hear anti-God, right? Now, say what you want about the Catholic Church. I just looked it up. $50 million a year in charitable donations. That's a pretty good thing to do. All right. If you add up all the contributions to charitable donations from the United States Congress, it's about a tenth of that. So the reason why it's a tenth, literally, they don't contribute to charity much. I'm just letting you guys know. You can look it up. When you're looking for something to believe in, and when you're looking for something to want to hold on to, would it be somebody that donates $50 million to the poor and helps charities and helps people, genuinely helps people? Or does it the tenth that say they help people?
How about the 100 million they've paid out to perverts and pedophiles?
They've paid out or paid out to cover up?
To cover up.
Well, dude, it
hurts.
It's awful, right? Denouncing it, it's awful. Awful, awful, awful. But if we want to start talking about like cover-ups and stuff like that, which we could, right? And we might on the new show coming up, we just might talk about this because scandals and cover-ups within the unions, oh my God, I am learning some stuff that you will not believe. But that's for a different time. And I'll explain it to you later here. All right. But hey, Joe, it was a really good conversation tonight. We didn't really fight each other, unfortunately. I thought we were going to. I thought you were going to go a whole new direction or a whole different direction with this woke stuff. And you didn't. You kind of threw me for a curveball. That's why I had a lot tonight. So,
Jim, it's kind of stupid. And I understand why people are uncomfortable with all the wokeness. I get it. It's a bit much. And at times, it can be overwhelming. And if I felt like the whole world was rooting against me and my favorite brands were turning against me, I would be angry too. And that's why I just want people to understand you're getting caught up in this nonsensical political war. That's really who's fighting. There's not a culture war. This whole thing is dumb. Stop destroying your stuff. If you want to protest stuff, just don't buy it. You already own it, though. Just do yourself the favor, sell it.
There you go. I'll buy the Jack Daniels mirror. I actually like that. And if you're selling a Harley on the cheap,
put that out there, baby. Someone will pick that up off your hands.
I want to end the episode. Probably. I want to end the episode tonight saying, whether you believe in God or you believe in wokeness, just remember that we can still have respect for one another. Right? You believe what you want to believe, and I respect it. I'm going to believe what I want to believe, and I'm just going to ask you to respect that as well. So, for Joe Aguirre, I am Jimmy J. For everybody here, and I'm looking around like there's a lot of people around me to make me look good, from Divided We Stand, I am saying thank you very much. Good night, and God bless.
Do you want to start your own podcast or live stream show? At Clovercrest Media Group, we can help you create a show to run on CT Politics TV. From concept to development and production, let the pros at CMG assist you in getting your voice heard. At CMG, we'll also help you build your audience on social media, as well as train on how to become a broadcast professional. To learn more or to set up a free consultation, visit us at clovercrestmedia.com.